Now the next step in our data science methodology is modeling. So modeling here means selecting an algorithm or model from the data that we have prepared in order to solve the business problem. So they are all connected. First of all, find the business problem, prepare the data that can be used to solve the problem, and use that prepared data now for modeling. See here, we prepared the data in the previous step right here by selecting the right amount of data, cleaning the data, extending the data if required, and putting into the format that can be used for modeling. Now, in the modeling steps, we first of all select the modeling techniques, like selecting data types that are available for analysis, select an algorithm or a model. So this is the important step here, selecting an algorithm. And third is defining a modeling goals. So what is the goal? What are the goal that we need to solve? We need to achieve after modeling is done. So we need to define it. And we need to also state specific modeling requirements, like what are the dependencies, what is the risk factor in this modeling steps. Now we build the model. We set up the hyperparameters, we train the model, we describe the result. What is the result of the model? Like how accurate our model is, how precise our model is, and what is the recall value and all. So that will be described here. And finally, we assess the model. Assessing the model means evaluating the model. Evaluation should be done now because we had just made our model. Now you can just answer this question within this modeling technique and go for the evaluation step. But first of all, are you able to understand the results of the model through this modeling technique? If you are understanding, then the first step is ticked. Do the model results make sense to you from the purely logical perspective? So that is also important question. From your initial glance, do the results seems to address your organizational business requirement? So this is important statement here. Do the result that we got from the modeling are enough to solve the problem or not? So we need to answer all these things within these modeling steps. Now, if we got the answer for all of these steps, now we are ready for evaluation. So in the case of evaluation, we evaluate the result. Are results presented clearly? Because the evaluation should be presented to non-technical persons maybe. So for the perspective of non-technical persons, we don't want to show them technical jargon. Rather, we want to present them something that are clear to just visualize, and we can get findings from those visualization. And similarly, we can see, can the models and findings be applicable to business goal? How well do the models and findings answer business goals? So these are all the special and valid points here. Now then we review the process. Did the stage contribute to the value of the results or not? So we review our process, we review the evaluation, we review all the process, and we determine the next step. So determining the next step means we are at this step of evaluation. Now we review the process, we evaluate the result, and we didn't find the appropriate result. Let's say our result that we have found is not enough for us. Then we can again start from business understanding, from again the first phase. So this is an iterative process again. So if we evaluated our model, we got the result, and if the result does not satisfy us, let us start from business understanding. All the process will be again the same. Business understanding, data preparation, again the modeling, again the evaluation will be done. Now after some iterative process, we found that the result of model was able to solve the business problem. Then we will just break down this chain and we will directly go to the deployment. So we deploy this model that we have just used, which will be able to solve the business problem. We deploy it, and there are different ways to deploy through the pipelines, through the machine learning pipelines and data science project pipeline. So in this way, we evaluate our model and finally we deploy our model. So we summarize model findings, we create, we plan for the deployment, and if the deployment is done, we plan monitoring and maintenance of the model. So we identify models and findings which require support. How can the accuracy and validity be evaluated after the deployment? How will you determine the model has expired? What to do with the expired model? So all of these things will be taken out carefully within this deployment step. And finally, we conduct a final project review. And this is all the steps that we have in this methodology, and this is very much popular methodologies. We have another methodologies, that is Microsoft build TDSP model, but the TDSP model methodology is quite similar to CRISP-DM, same as this one, but in the case of TDSP model, we have one thing that is extra than this CRISP-DM, that is customer acceptance. So see here, in this model that we have been discussing does not have the new thing, that is customer acceptance to it, but Microsoft TDSP model has the customer acceptance attached to it, so that we can iteratively check the customer feedback and create the best model iteratively. So that is all about the CRISP-DM. We studied CRISP-DM, how this methodology work one by one, and this is the methodology that we normally use in the case of data science and machine learning project.